All right. We are live. I got a fly in my room, and the Phoenix Suns preseason 2023-24 is officially over. And I can already tell that I'm going to be making at least maybe a video or two about this preseason alone. Because as somebody says in the comments, Jay Money says in the comments, so much to be excited about for this upcoming season. And I might sound like a broken record here, you guys, but it all started in the preseason, really in training camp too, I thought. So, as always, you guys, a couple quick disclaimers before we get started. Let me know how we're looking. Let me know how we're sounding, and then we will get started. I'm drinking my good old trusty classic Sprite. And yeah, we'll crack this open, and then we'll get started because there's a lot to talk about. Let me know what you're drinking in the chat. And with that being said, cheers to the Phoenix Suns preseason. Oh, delicious. Also, you guys see my Arizona Diamondbacks hat here. Shout out to the Arizona Diamondbacks winning the game and staying alive in the series. The magical run continues. Embrace the chaos. Shout out to the Arizona Diamondbacks. You guys know I'm not a huge baseball fan by any means, and I'm really not. But it's been pretty fun to watch what they've done over the last, month or so. Appreciate my guy Logan being in here. He says, Hulk, smash that like button. Yes, everybody crush that like button. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate the feedback. He says, looking and sounding good. Appreciate you, man. All right. With that underway, I went old school again. I took a bunch of notes on an actual piece of paper with a pen, you know? It's a little easier to kind of read my notes as compared to when I write them down on the computer and all that. So let's start with, okay, please forgive me here, Suns fans. You guys know that I like to kind of look at things through both sides of the coin, right? That's how I've always done things on this channel. That's how I always will. I do want to start with sort of the negative, but let me word it as a complete over-the-top overreaction. This is my overreaction to at least the first quarter. Just hear me out, Suns fans. You guys know me. I'm usually a really positive person, but I just want to kind of start off on a little bit of a negative over-the-top overreaction note. The first 7 points for the Lakers were, if I remember correctly, were exactly like this. Let me burp real quick. Excuse me. I believe the Lakers' first points were a D'Angelo Russell lob to AD. LeBron had that little, his classic fast break, drive to the rim, shove everybody out of the way, drive and score. I think Tarian Prince, however you pronounce his name, I believe he had a free throw after that. And then D'Lo and AD connected on another kind of pick and roll play. All of a sudden, the game was 7-0. Kevin Durant could not hit a shot to save his life. In fact, really, a lot of the Suns couldn't hit a shot to save their life. I believe at one point it was like 12-2 or 12-4, something like that. Anthony Davis had 5 blocks in 9 minutes. Let me repeat that again. Anthony Davis had 5 blocks in 9 minutes. And again, D'Lo and AD connected on 2 different drives that led to points. LeBron was being LeBron throughout the whole game. And the Lakers, I got to give them credit, you guys. I feel like the Lakers in that first quarter sort of gave us a nice wake-up call. And I mean that in a good way. Although I'm kind of being negative right now, I really do mean that in a good way. I feel like that was a nice punch in the mouth. And I used that term a lot last season. It was a nice punch in the mouth. Because let's be real, you guys. The Pistons, they're young, but they're still rebuilding. I'm a little more optimistic about the Pistons than others, but they're a very young rebuilding team. The Blazers are just entering this new era of their rebuild. We haven't really been challenged in a way. So when I saw that LeBron and AD were playing, I was like, okay, It's like, even if they just play for a half, I'm like, this is going to be really important. And I know it's cool to like hate on the Lakers, but like, let's be real. They really did have a good offseason, in my opinion, anyways. And one thing that I noticed right away from the Lakers' perspective was, and again, this is all, I'm all talking first quarter here, was they took advantage of the Phoenix Suns not being able to hit shots. And another thing they did very well was their active hands. Because not only was Anthony Davis blocking everything in sight, it seemed like every possession the Suns had for at least a decent stretch of the game, there was deflections, there were steals, there was turnovers. Again, it was a really nice wake-up call for the Phoenix Suns. I mean, obviously, it didn't help that Kevin Durant was missing shots and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker didn't even play. And Nurkic, who we're going to talk about later, had arguably the worst game of his career, even if it was just preseason. I thought Grayson Allen and Eric Gordon were really aggressive during this bad stretch that we had. But it does go to show that unless we're blowing out the other team, we at least need one of our big three on the court at all times. And again, I'm trying to look at this through an optimistic point of view. I do believe that this little, as I'm calling it, this wake-up call that the Suns had in this final preseason game was actually a good thing. You know what I mean? Because seriously, go back and watch that first quarter. It was literally the Anthony Davis show. LeBron was being LeBron. So many turnovers, so many missed shots, so many deflections and steals from the Lakers. You know what I mean? They were literally just kicking our ass. But this is why I don't understand basketball. Despite all of that, the game was actually still close. And then I got more notes here. The Phoenix Suns ended the first quarter on an 18-6 run. They had 11 points in 2 minutes. That's why I don't understand basketball anymore. You know what I mean? Despite the terrible first quarter that, well, at least, maybe 5-6 minutes that the Suns had, the Lakers cooled down. I think Anthony Davis finally sat on the bench, and then the Suns went on that run. It's crazy. And by the way, the Suns going on a run and playing much better throughout the game was a big trend throughout this game. And we're going to talk about that more in a little bit because there's a couple of tweets I want to react to. So let's keep going. Let's get a little more optimistic here. There was that sequence in the second quarter where KD and LeBron were kind of trading baskets and everybody was kind of reminiscing about like what the 2018, 2017 Warriors, Cavs, you know what I mean? They were trading baskets. KD started cooking. That was around the time when I think it was like 40-38. Also, okay, let me go back to a little bit of, you know what? Do I even want to talk about Nurkic? I mean, let's be real. He had a terrible game. Maybe later I'll address it because I did write down Nurkic in my notes. Let's keep the positivity going here. Second quarter, Phoenix Suns went on a 9-0 run in just under 2 minutes. That was when it was 54-51. Kevin Durant finished the half and the game because he didn't come back after the first half. He had 21 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 57% from the field, and he had 2 threes. And again, it was sort of during that stretch when, you know, he woke up a little bit and when him and LeBron were trading baskets and Dwayne Rankin had this tweet right here. I'm just going to read it to you guys. In the second quarter alone, Kevin Durant was 7 for 7 from the field. He had 16 points, made 1 3 in 8 minutes and 31 seconds. Let me repeat that. In the second quarter alone, in just 8 minutes and 31 seconds, Kevin Durant had 16 points, 7 for 7 from the field, 1 3 in 8 minutes and 31 seconds. He was taking over. Maybe it was because he knew it was going to be his final possessions of the preseason. Maybe it's because LeBron was out there And by the way, if I'm reading my notes correctly, this was the first time that LeBron and KD have faced off, even if it is just preseason, since Christmas Day of 2018. First time KD and LeBron have actually played in an NBA game since Christmas Day of 2018, even if it is just preseason. So, just real quickly, let's get back to the negativity here. Again, forgive me for my negativity. I just got to point out what I saw. I just want to just talk about Nurkic real quick. I won't spend too much time on this. Everybody has a bad game. I get it. Oh boy. Nurkic in 20 minutes tonight had 3 points, 8 rebounds, 5 fouls, 2 turnovers, and shot 1 for 11 from the field. He had a couple okay passes here and there, but he really didn't do much. And I knew it was going to be a rough game. And this wasn't even really his fault, but I knew it was going to be a rough game because there was one play very early in the game where Grayson Allen took the ball up and Nurkic stopped. I don't know if he was trying to set a screen for somebody else, but Grayson Allen threw the ball and it hit him in the back of the head. I was like, oh boy, it's going to be a long game. You know what I mean? But it was just little things out there. I mean, obviously, you can't stop Anthony Davis when he was on a run like he was on, but he was getting outworked by Anthony Davis, getting his shot blocked. Wasn't very mobile, if you will. Just didn't really seem like he had the burst or the speed today. Didn't really have much going on. I don't even remember when he hit a point. You know what I mean? It was just one of those rough games for Nurkic. And again, I would have to go down the books and look at the basketball reference page to look at his worst games of all time. But this was definitely a bad game. But I will say this, though. Vision Plasma says the difference is that Nurk doesn't give up after playing terribly, unlike Ayton. LOL. And yes, I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little negative. I'm just calling it how I see it, you guys. All right. But with that being said, though, I've gone through my notes. I know I didn't write down that many notes because, to be honest, after KD sat out and everything, this is how it's been all preseason. After the big three go out or whatever the case may be, I kind of just casually watch here and there. But there is still some things that I want to react to. And before we do that, let me take a sip of my Sprite. Cheers. All right. So, we already read you guys the Kevin Durant. The Kevin Durant first half. We talked about Nurkic. We talked about some other things that I saw here. I just want to react to a couple tweets here. Then we're going to kind of get into a little bit of Suns news, if you will. Just a little bit of news. First off, I just thought that this tweet was funny, so I have to read it. But it is sort of like a trend that I saw going on Twitter tonight. Let me just click out of this. Let me just zoom in on here. Can you guys see that okay? Okay, let me just move myself down here. Sorry, guys, one-man show here. So XN on Twitter, great follow, by the way, says, I've had to watch the game on tape delay. By the way, you're a real one if you know what tape delay is. But I finally caught up. Props to the Lakers' big three of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Austin Reeves for keeping up with the Suns' big three, Kevin Durant, Nazar Little, and Grayson Allen. Close game. I love that. And you guys are probably like, Suns Geek, where are you going with this? You're just getting silly, bro. Here's where I'm going with this. Shout out to Mike V. Hill. I hope I pronounced your last name right, from the Timeline podcast, who had arguably the tweet of the night, if not the tweet of the night. It's already got 635 likes and 101 retweets, but he said, the no-depth Suns bench just outscored the Lakers by 20 in a quarter where the Lakers played their stars. Yeah. If that's not the tweet of the night, I don't know what is. The no-depth Suns bench just outscored the Lakers by 20 in a quarter where the Lakers played their starters. Speaking of the Phoenix Suns bench, you guys, I'm going to have to can someone fact check me and see how many bench points the Suns bench scored? Because I believe at one point the graphics showed that the Suns had 52 bench points, but I'm just going to look it up real quick. Now, you guys know I'm terrible at math, so I'm just going to read you guys what the Phoenix Suns bench did tonight. Now, forgive me if I'm saying his name wrong. Chimezi Metu had 9 points, 3 threes, by the way. Drew Eubanks had 7. We're going to talk about him in a minute. Yuta had 12. Keita Bates-Diop had 5. Nazir Little had 11. Bol had 6. Keon Johnson had 3. Saben Lee had 15. And Jordan Goodwin had 7. Yeah, that's a lot of bench points, you guys. Remember when I said I was kind of casually watching the second half? Some of that I didn't see. You know what I mean? Because I was getting things ready for the show and just chilling, and you guys know how it is. I'll be more focused once the actual season starts. I'll be over analyzing everything. But let me just quickly go down that list again. Metu had 9. Drew Eubanks had 7. Yuta had 12. Keita Bates-Diop had 5. Nazir Little had 11. Bol had 6. Keon Johnson had 3. Saben Lee had 15. And Jordan Goodwin had 7. Logan, in backcourt highlights, you guys are awesome. Backcourt highlights says, Geek, that's a 75 pointer. And Logan says, my imperfect math says the final tally was 71-22. Yeah. Either way, you guys. That's pretty damn impressive. And I saw Mike kind of going back and forth with this one, Lakers beat writer. But the fact that we got off to kind of a terrible start and then we responded with over 70 points off the bench or whatever the case may be, that's pretty impressive, you guys. And I think something now this might sound like me kind of pointing out the obvious here, but it also might be getting a little overlooked. I think what is kind of exciting, I just realized I didn't have my little ticker going on where you guys can follow me on social media, by the way. Check out those links down below. But think about what the Phoenix Suns bench did in this game, last game, etc., all preseason long. And our big three have not even played a full game yet. You know what I mean? Yeah, they've played a first half or whatever the case may be. They haven't even played over 30 minutes yet, our big three. And our bench is doing this. And yeah, I started off the show on a negative note. I was just pointing out what I saw. And yes, there's going to be games where we will struggle, because I actually didn't read you guys a couple of the negative notes here. There's going to be games where, maybe this depth will struggle at times. But think about it. Our big three will be there. And I said this earlier. One of the big three needs to be on the court at all times. They just absolutely have to. Unless we're obviously kicking their ass. I mean, obviously they don't need to be on there, but you guys get what I'm saying. Our big three hasn't even fully played a game yet, and our bench is looking solid. Oh, and don't worry, we're going to talk about Drew Eubanks, and we're going to talk about Yuta and a whole bunch of other guys that I was impressed by tonight. But it's okay, Logan. At least you can do math, unlike me. 77-42. I was way off. LOL. Seriously, you guys, when I say I'm bad at math, that is a legit understatement. So thank you, Logan. You're the man. Appreciate you, brother. Vision Plasma says, today was a good day for Arizona sports in general. Suns, D-backs, and Yotes all won today, which is dope as F. Exactly. All right, y'all. So continuing on here. I guess what I'm just trying to say is we all should be excited. And as someone said in the chat earlier, there's so much to look forward to this season. And that is a legit understatement. And I know it might sound cliche and it might sound like I'm pointing out the obvious here, but I am so much more hyped for this season than I was last season. Because last season, I did not want to run it back. And that's exactly what the Suns did. Unlike this season, where we finally addressed a whole bunch of our issues and rebuilt the whole roster pretty much. Monk 79 or D Monkey, however you say that name. Suns bench was 26 for 43 from the field, 10 for 20 from three. Let me reread that. The Suns bench was 26 to 43 from the field and 10 for 20 from three. Guys, do you remember last season when I would like sit there and complain about how bad like the Suns were in terms of like 3-point shooting? And I kept like I kept sounding like a broken record because all of last season I was like, guys, when the Suns are going to start hitting their or when the Suns are going to start making their threes, they're going to be a tough team to beat. I might kind of be sounding like that again because of this right here. I mean, Kevin Durant said it earlier. We're probably going to talk about it later. Remember when he said you can't guard all of us at once? Like, it's true. And Devin Booker, what was that clip that was going around today where he said like good luck guarding us? Speaking of that, we might as well talk about it real quick. I just got to upload this to the StreamYard thing real quick. And I think there's an actual clip too that we can react to. I know this is like kind of going all over the place, but I do kind of want to talk about this. We won't spend too much time on it because I want to talk about Drew Eubanks and a few other guys as well. But since we were sort of segued into that, we will talk about it. So I believe Gerald Bourguet from PHNX had this clip, a Clutch Points posted it. Sorry, guys, give me a second here. Hold on, guys. And I know I'm like 48 hours late on this or whatever, but I do want to talk about it. Okay. Let's go. Okay, cool. Perfect. There we go. That's what I need. Okay. So this is Kevin Durant on the Phoenix Suns' new big three. And this is the famous "You Can't Guard Us All at Once" clip. Let me just put on my earphones and then we will react to this clip. And I don't really know where. Oh, whoa! What is going on? Technical difficulties, you guys. Are we still live? I don't know what's going on. I'm scared. My webcam just went out. What is going on? Oh my God. Hold on, guys. Hello? I don't know what. I legit don't know what just happened. I'm so sorry, you guys. Thank you, Backcourt Highlights. I appreciate you. Let's try this again, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened there. That was a trip. All right. Here is Kevin Durant saying, "You cannot guard us all at once," but the actual full quote. And again, this comes from Gerald Bourguet, PHNX, and from Clutch Points, who uploaded this clip.
The guys that command respect out there. Book drives to the rim is going to be guys coming over and converting. Same with Bradley. Same with myself. On different areas of the floor, expect to open up everything for everyone. Can't guard all of us at once. So especially when guys like Booker command a double team, myself, Brad can command double teams, going to be tough on the backside. So play fundamentally sound ball, don't turn the ball over, rebound, we get solid shape on offense. Will you cut the tape on open shots from the swing? No, you know what I mean? Not at all. Not you. It's just nobody on the team. I don't think anybody on this team. Coach is on us at all times of being aggressive. And it's times where coach may call a play and he'll stop practice and say, look, that was a chance for you to go break it off and go get a basket right there. So him giving us that confidence to be aggressive when the ball touches our hands is always key. And a team with good players, you tend to try not to step on toes and be a little timid out there to figure it out. But from day one, coach was telling us to be aggressive.
Okay, real quick. I remember I talked about this last live show. At the very end there, Kevin Durant was like, oh, like we'll be in practice and Frank Vogel will like call a timeout and say, hey, like you could have had an opportunity to score there. I remember Tom Leander was talking about that. He said that Frank Vogel said that he wants these guys, if the defense backs off, to light it up, just shoot it up. Like he's giving them the confidence to shoot and to be aggressive. So again, if you missed it, here's the actual quote here. He's talking about Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, all at the same court on different areas of the floor, blah, blah. You can't guard us all at once, especially when guys like this command a double team. Play fundamentally sound ball. Don't turn the ball over, rebound, and we'll be in solid shape on offense. What happened in today's game, Suns fans? Especially in that first quarter, we turned the ball over and we could not hit shots. Kevin Durant said it perfectly. Play fundamentally sound ball. Don't turn the ball over. Rebound, and we'll be in solid shape on offense. So again, I know I'm like a little bit late to this quote, but it was a great quote from Kevin Durant. And then again, I saw it trending earlier when Devin Booker said, good luck guarding us. Sorry, guys, I had to burp real quick. But yeah, that was a great quote. I just wanted to touch on that for a couple of minutes. Because go back and listen to what KD said, guys. Like, KD knows ball, man. He was spitting facts. All right, let me get this out of here real quick. Okay. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties that happened just a few minutes ago. As Sydney says, one-man show. That is a huge understatement. I don't know what just happened. All right, y'all. I want to talk about Drew Eubanks just for a minute. And we really just have to react to, one of the best dunks of the preseason. Sorry, guys. The drill here. Technical difficulties, one-man show. But it wasn't just this poster dunk that we're going to react to that got me going. Drew Eubanks did a lot of good stuff out there besides this poster dunk. But we will react to it. So a couple things I saw from Drew Eubanks tonight, who, by the way, Drew Eubanks finished with, he played 16 minutes tonight. He had 7 points, 9 rebounds. He had 6 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. So first, let's react to the Drew Eubanks poster dunk. Catches it right here, goes up, and it's that, you guys. As great as that was, he had a block early in the game, I believe on Christian Wood. And then there was a couple of nice sequences where he was passing the ball pretty well. He's kind of a low-key, like, good passer. And we all know Drew Eubanks competes on defense. Will try to, he just plays hard out there, sets hard screens, rim rolls, you know what I mean? Drew Eubanks, he's going to surprise a lot of people, y'all. And I really mean that. I'm trying not to respond to this comment that XYZ left in the chat, because he clearly doesn't watch this channel that much. But with that being said, Drew Eubanks is going to surprise a lot of people. I also saw Yuta with some nice plays out there. We all know Yuta can score, but he had that kind of and one dunk that I saw. I believe that might have been in the fourth quarter. And you know what? There was a few times on defense as well where I thought he competed hard. I mean, you can't stop LeBron, but there was some times where he's contesting shots, playing good defense. I believe there was one sequence where he came over and kind of closed in and sort of trapped LeBron. So we tried. Shout out to my guy, Aaron. Appreciate you being here, man. He says, let's go. But yeah, you guys, there was just a lot to take away tonight. And again, how do I say this? it is just so exciting, the potential of this team. And you're going to hear me say that legit all season long. And again, like, there's going to be ups and downs, kind of like how we saw throughout some of the first quarter. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be nights where the ball doesn't go into the rim. There's going to be nights where our defense looks terrible. And Suns Twitter, we're all going to be overreacting. I'll probably be overreacting on some nights, but then there's going to be nights where it all just comes together. And there's going to be nights where maybe we do rest our big three, like after the third quarter. And I mean that in a good way. We rest our big three because the lead is just out of hand and we don't need to play them anymore. So I am really excited, you guys. And by the way, speaking of being excited, the NBA season starts on Tuesday. I mean, at least where I live right now, it's Friday. It's midnight. It's Tuesday, guys. We're like 4 days away from the NBA season. And what's good is, like, the Suns can have a day off. They can practice, watch some film, start gearing up for that Tuesday night game against the, who do we play? The Lakers? Chris Paul, Dario Saric. Appreciate you being here, Aaron. Anytime you can watch me, I appreciate you, man. He said, off to bed, but I'll watch this tomorrow. I got to get up in 4 hours. Speaking of that, you guys, whether you're watching now or in the future or later, I do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Abraham makes a good point here. We saw Yuta improve his pull-up jumper. Yeah, like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we all know he can shoot. We all know he can score. So I wasn't really watching that necessarily, but there were some sequences where, as you mentioned, like the pull-up jumper or like the stop and pop, like that does look like he has improved it. And remember what Devin Booker said. Devin Booker said that when he's on the court, his, quote, antennas are up for Yuta. But it was some defensive plays. I thought he played defense pretty well. Guys, like, we legit are going to have a team that is just going to surprise us. Like, I know that Chimezi Medu's been getting a lot of love, especially from my guy Flex from Jersey. I mean, heck, Medu even surprised me tonight. Meta had 9 points, 3 for 5 from 3. So Logan says, hype, this team is so much fun. I'm calling it a night, but I'll be there in 4 days for sure. This team is so much fun, you guys. I really don't know if I can keep going on. And the Chris 75704 leads us into our next segue, because I was legit just about to talk about it. He says, report is that Ish was cut earlier today. Okay, guys. So instead of me just rambling on about the Phoenix Suns and all that stuff, okay, before I don't know if I should show you guys the clip or just pull up the quote, because the audio from this clip really isn't that good, unfortunately. But Dwayne Rankin had a clip earlier where he was talking to Frank Vogel and he asked him, so, okay, let me see. No, that's not the actual quote. Okay, whatever. We're just going to react to it. Again, the audio is pretty terrible. I'm not going to play the full clip because they start talking about other things halfway on. But in case you guys missed it, Ish Wainright has been temporarily waived. Now, he is waived. He wasn't even at the game tonight. He was at the Diamondbacks game tonight. But there's a plot twist to this waive. First off, you have to clear waivers for like 48 hours, whatever the case may be, right? Sorry, guys. Let me just pull this up. So, yeah, Ish Wainright has been waived, which I'm not trying to sound like an Ish Wainright hater, but it didn't really surprise me necessarily because, one, he did have that injury. We haven't even seen him all preseason. But two, this team is just so loaded. It's like, I don't know where the minutes are going to be for Ish Wainright. But there is a plot twist here. Because before the game, like I mentioned, Dwayne Rankin was talking to Frank Vogel. And again, the audio sucks. It's just because of the room and you know, the iPhone and all that. He's not like, or I think he uses an iPhone, but you see the distance between Dwayne Rankin and Frank Vogel. So here's what Frank Vogel said on Ish Wainright. And here we go.
Ish, you know, waving him, and just maybe he didn't obviously get a chance to play hardly at all, but what went into maybe the thinking of letting him go?
Yeah, just we're hoping to bring him back. First of all, I want to say that. So it's hopefully more of a logistical thing. We'll have opportunities to go elsewhere if someone who suits him. You know, but we're big on this Wainright. We're believers in him, and you know, logistically, it's something we're going to do with the contract dates and whatnot. We're hoping to bring that back.
Okay, so I know it was kind of hard to hear Frank Vogel there, but he said a couple of key things. Right off the bat, he said, we're hoping to bring him back. That surprised me. And then he said, we're big believers in Ish Wainright. Now, even though I took it as a negative, Frank Vogel, now I want to make sure I'm getting this right too. Now, this was before Ish Wainright was released. Frank Vogel said this about Ish Wainright. Now, keep in mind, this was before he got released. Frank Vogel on Ish Wainright. He was in here, you know, the gym this summer, more than anybody on our team. Extremely, extremely dedicated hard worker. Wants to perfect his craft. A good culture guy, and our whole organization loves having him around. I've enjoyed getting to know him. Now, keep in mind that was on October 14th, all before this. And when I first heard that, I was like, oh God, he's getting waived. But doesn't that kind of sound like a Frank Vogel guy? He was in the gym this summer more than anybody. Extremely, extremely dedicated hard worker, good culture guy, blah, blah, blah. So that's why it kind of surprised me when he said, we're hoping to bring him back. We're big believers in Ish Wainright. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. But if your head coach is saying, yeah, we want him back, I think he's got a good chance. And he was at the Arizona Diamondbacks game tonight. Just saying. But again, I don't know where the minutes are going to be. And we have to make 2 cuts, I believe. We got 3 2-way spots now because the NBA introduced a 3rd one. So I don't know. But I did want to talk about that. That was definitely something I wanted to cover. I don't know who we're going to cut. Keep in mind, Damian Lee is still out with that injury. These are the hard questions and things that the front office and you know, Matt Ishbia and Josh Bartelstein and James Jones and all them and Frank Vogel and his coaching staff have to address and figure out. Abraham says Ish does have a big work ethic and shows off his presence every time he steps on the court. Exactly. Jason says sign someone else on that 2-way. There are better players out there than Ish that are free. Okay. I'm not saying you're wrong, Jason, but if they're that good, are they really going to sign a 2-way deal? You know what I mean? And even though Monty Williams used this word a lot, continuity is kind of important. Just saying. I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm not trying to like downplay what you're saying, but I just, you know, the NBA is expensive. Ish does nothing on this roster. He's not going to get minutes, says Jason. All right, y'all. I think that's it. Probably going to cut the show a little short. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties. You guys saw how much of a disaster that was earlier. That's why the lighting looks kind of weird right now. But who cares? This is a fun show. And the Suns won. We won our final preseason game. And our big 3 haven't even played like a full game yet. It's amazing, y'all. And the Diamondbacks won and the Coyotes won. Good times, man. I hope you guys are all doing well out there. Even if you're watching this in the future, I really do appreciate it. You know, actions speak louder than words, but I definitely got a lot planned for you guys. A lot of videos, a lot of live shows on the way. Stay tuned. I might take a couple of days off before the season starts, but once the season starts, bam, it's going to be videos and live shows all over the place. So get ready, you guys. Again, thank you to everybody who watched along live. You guys are the real ones. I know there's a lot of great Suns content out there, like my friends over at the Suns Jam Session podcast, PHNX, all these other great pods. But you guys chose to listen to me, and I appreciate that. You guys are the real ones. Also, keep in mind, there might be some points throughout the season where I don't go live after a game. Whatever the case may be, if I don't do that, I'll probably do like a morning show. So just turn on those notifications, or at least follow me on social. Follow me on IG, Twitter, all that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. For anybody who cares, I've been watching, or should I say I've been rewatching the Dark Knight trilogy. I try to watch those movies at least once a year, if not once every 2 years. And I don't care what anybody says, those are 3 of the greatest comic book movies and 3 of the greatest movies ever made, in my personal opinion. I'm a Batman fanboy. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I got I'm just going to take my webcam off. You see my little Batman section right there? Yeah, you see that? Huge Batman fanboy. That is an understatement. Oh. So, yeah, I've been watching those. I've kind of been like on a superhero high, or superhero kick, if you will. The next movies I want to watch are the X-Men movies, because X-Men First Class is one of my all-time favorite superhero movies. So, going to be watching that. So, yeah, you guys, make sure to follow me on social media. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Do me a huge favor, y'all. Crush that like button. Please subscribe, because if it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Go Suns. God bless. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. And as always, go Suns.